These are my recommendations for an agricultural system on Mars. First, let's take a look at their diet. I first calculated the amount of energy needed to feed all 6 astronauts, which is 65.2 megajoules per day. Next, we could take a look at the first table. I chose 3 food sources to comprise their diet, and this is where the first assumption kicks in, and all assumptions are written on red. So the first assumption is that they don't need all 5 food groups to survive and thrive, that they just need their 16% protein, 31% fat, and 53% carbs, as well as the necessary energy. So the first food I chose was sweet potatoes because they're high in starches and which are good stored carbohydrates. The second is spinach because they're higher in protein and they're vegetables. And the third is peanut oil because the other 2 foods are lower in fat content, so this makes up for it. Next, I use system of equations to find the amount of energy that is supplied by each food source per day, and thus I found the mass eaten per day. And then we can take a look at the second table, and I quickly converted peanut oil to peanuts by using the density of peanut oil and then the conversion yield from turning peanuts into peanut oil. So I found first the amount of land harvested per day by multiplying the mass eaten per day times the yield of crop area. And then I multiplied that number by the time until harvest to find the total amount of land that is used, which is 7.6 times 10 to the third meters square. Next, we could take a look at the water balance, and the entire PFD is here, but the key components are that 7.15 times 10 to the fifth kilograms of water is being recirculated and rewatered to the plants every day, and that 4.52 times 10 to the fourth kilograms of melted ice is being supplied to the system every day. So the key assumptions here is one, that 5% of water is incorporated into as edible plant matter. Basically, it's being turned into sugar, and the rest of the water is being recirculated. And the second assumption is that the water lost as water vapor is negligible. We're just assuming that all water can be recirculated as liquid, and we don't have to worry about condensation of like lost water vapor. Also, the 5% that I chose, please take a look at the note at the very bottom of the screen. Just pause it and take a look. That would be great. Thank you. And the last thing is the power needed. So we were analyzing 6 different sources: lamps, melting water, water recirculation, air filtration, water filtration, and heating, which totaled to 1.6 megawatts total. And we're assuming that there's no other loss or gain of energy except for what's listed over here. So I want to power this using nuclear reactors because nuclear reactors will provide the necessary energy. For example, like a normal sized nuclear reactor produces 1 gigawatt of power, and we only need 1.6 megawatts. So it should provide the necessary energy a small nuclear reactor. In addition, solar panels are possible. Like the Mars rover definitely uses solar panels. However, this will the amount of solar panels needed multiplies because we're having 6 people and we're trying to supply them for a long time. So solar panels will be way too bulky to bring to Mars.